A very good afternoon, everyone. I am Madhuri Bhattacharya, a research scholar, Prime Minister's Research Fellow in Department of Chemistry, IIT Madras. So, I'll be teaching this Industrial Inorganic Chemistry course. This has been taught by Dr. Devashish Rai, Department of Chemistry, Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. So, we will be discussing some assignment questions, and I have already discussed the course syllabus you will be having in the NPTEL website. So, basically we will discuss regarding some inorganic material, nitrogen compounds, phosphorus compounds, halogenated compounds, then some fertilizer also, and then some like pigments, zeolites, catalyst, organosilicon compounds. Some material chemistry we will be discussing. So today I'll be starting with the first question. Splitting of dinitrogen molecule into free nitrogen atom in biological nitrogen fixation is done by hydrazinase or nitrogenase or dinitrogenase or nitrate reductase. So what will be the correct answer? Correct answer is option number B, nitrogenase. Why? Because this nitrogenase is basically an enzyme that is present in certain microorganisms like cyanobacteria, azobacter, rhizobium, etc. And this enzyme is specifically designed in such a way that it can bind the atmospheric nitrogen under ambient condition, and then nitrogen to ammonia conversion will be done under ambient condition. So this process of converting nitrogen to ammonia is called nitrogen fixation, which is a very requisite transformation for life sustaining, because all the biosynthesis of biomolecules like nucleotides, amino acid, proteins, they need nitrogen. And the like animals and plants, they are not able to bind the aerial nitrogen, so they need some nitrogenous source. How they will get? They will get from this certain microorganism will produce that nitrogen source as ammonia or nitrate ion to the plants, and then from the plants and also from the animals who will be taking that plant as their food, they will also get nitrogen source from those foods. So like that, nitrogen will be supplied to every living organism, living plants and everything. So basically the cofactor that is responsible for nitrogen binding are iron molybdenum cofactor, iron vanadium cofactor, iron cofactor also. Among all these, iron molybdenum cofactor is more common and most thoroughly studied. So what consists this iron molybdenum cofactor is one monoanionic molybdenum iron heptairon S9C minus unit, where we can see from the structure. This is the structure of iron molybdenum cofactor. It consists of two heterocuban unit. One unit Fe4S3, as you can see, Fe4S3. This is one cuban unit consisting Fe4 iron atom and 3 sulfur. Then this is another cuban unit, heterocuban. Why we are telling? Because this is made by heteroatoms, not the similar atoms. So this is the cuban structure, but heterocuban. And this heterocuban is made with molybdenum, 3 iron atom and 3 sulfur atom. So Fe4S3 and MoFe3S3, these two heterocuban atoms are interlinked by sharing one mu6. Hapticity of this interstitial carbon is 6. mu6 carbon atom in the middle, and this is basically mu6 4 minus. This is carbido linkage. Carbon is having 4 negative charge here, and additionally bridged by 3 sulfur bridges. This is one sulfur bridge, this is another, and this one is another. So 3 sulfur bridge and 1 carbido mu6 atom are linking the two heterocuban unit. This is the core active core structure. This is the active core structure of our iron molybdenum cofactor, and this is the biological nitrogen fixation process. So basically, this binding of nitrogen by nitrogenase enzyme requires a reductive activation of this cofactor. What happens? Reductive elimination of hydrogen gas occurs from one of the iron sites, leading to the formation of iron 1 intermediate. And then that is suitable for nitrogen binding at one of the 6 iron centers around mu6 carbon atom. Like there are 6 iron centers around this carbon atom. At one of the iron center, which is reduced to iron 1, there one nitrogen molecule is able to be bound. And then this nitrogen, in presence of mild proton source and 1 electron, it will be converted to ammonia and hydrogen will be liberated. This process will take ATP to ADP conversion, and energy will be supplied from here, ATP to ADP conversion. This is the reference we can go through for detailed mechanistic study of nitrogen fixation by nitrogenase enzyme. Okay, second question is hydrogen peroxide. About hydrogen peroxide, it is oxidizing agent or reducing agent, or oxidizing as well as reducing, or none of the above. So correct answer is oxidizing as well as reducing. Why? Because in hydrogen peroxide the oxidation number of oxygen is -1. Now we know the range of oxidation number is of oxygen is from 0 to -2, and sometimes it can be +1 +2 also. When these oxidation states can be attained, when oxygen will be bound, will be present with some more electronegative atom. So as we know, oxygen's electronegativity is around 3.5 as per the Pauling scale. So more electronegative atom, more electronegative element than oxygen is only fluorine. So when oxygen will make compound with fluorine, such as O2F2 or F2O, then it will have this +1 and +2. In F2O it will have +2 oxidation state, and O2F2 it will have +1 oxidation state. Now H2O2 exhibits ambivalent redox property. Ambivalent means simultaneously it can show oxidizing as well as reducing property. So this is the structure of gas phase of H2O2. This is a structure in the crystalline phase. In the gas phase also similar kind of structure will be there, but this bond angle will be increased due to in the solid state there will be hydrogen bonding, but in the gas phase there will be no hydrogen bonding. So this bond length will be more in case of solid state and liquid state, but in case of gaseous state this bond length also will be decreased and bond angle will be also decreased. So this is the structure in the gaseous phase. Now this is the oxidizing potential of strongly oxidizing agent. From here we can see hydrogen peroxide is stronger oxidizing agent even than KMnO4, potassium, ClO2, chlorine dioxide, Cl2 also, but there are stronger oxidizing agent also like ozone and F2. And from the reduction potential we know, if the reduction potential is more, then there will be that will be called as more oxidizing agent. Why? Because from the Nernst equation we can calculate this oxidation potential, and as we all know, delta G is equals to minus NF cell, where E is the basically potential, your redox potential. Now in case of oxidation, if oxidizing potential, that is E, is more, then delta G is becoming more negative. That means that species will undergo spontaneous oxidation. So from the oxidation potential we can see oxidation potential of H2O2 is more than these three species, so it will be more oxidizing agent. Generally this H2O2 can show oxidizing property in acidic condition and in the basic condition as reducing property, but this can be reverse also in some cases. We will discuss that. So H2O2 in presence of proton, it will take 2 electron, thus it will behave as an oxidizer. and only water will be the product. But in case of basic condition, it will it will emit these two electron, and oxygen will be evolved as well as water will be the product. So when H2O2 acts as a reducing agent, oxygen gas is produced. Now from these equations you can see here some metallic metal ion, for some metal ion this H2O2 is very excellent oxidizing agent in presence of proton source. Like for example here, ferrous salt will be converted to ferric salt. This is oxidized, and H2O2 will itself reduce to H2O. How the reduction is you can identify this is reduced because here oxidation state of H2O2 is oxygen is -1, but in the H2 it is -2. So one electron it is taking. That means this H2O2 itself is getting reduced to H2O, but iron 2 plus is getting oxidized. Then from these two also we can see this is the reverse case, where in presence of proton source Mn plus 6 is converting, reducing to Mn2 plus, and in presence of basic source this Mn2 plus will get oxidized to Mn4 plus. So it can vary depending on the pH of the solution. It can vary the oxidizing or reducing property, but the thing is H2O2 can be can act as both as oxidizer or reductant. Okay, now here is one chemical reaction given, NH4O2SO4 plus H2SO4. What will be this product along with elimination of H2? This product will be ammonium S2O8, that is ammonium peroxide, or this ammonium sulfide or ammonium sulfate, or none of the above. Ammonium sulfide or none of the above. So answer is this one, ammonium persulfate. Ammonium persulfate is prepared by electrolysis of a cold solution of this both cold concentrated solution of ammonium sulfate as well as sulfuric acid at high current density to produce the activation energy. And this method was first described by Huck Marshall. So this is the chemical reaction of preparation of ammonium persulfate, and this persulfate, if hydrolyzed in water, it will lead to H2O2 formation. Okay, and we know some Marshall acid also. From this ammonium persulfate we can generate Marshall acid, that is H2S2O8. How we can generate? If we react this ammonium persulfate in acidic source like H2SO4, we will react, then H2S2O8 Marshall acid can be generated. Then the correct method for the formation of dibenzoyl peroxide is treating benzoic acid with NaOH, benzoyl chloride with ZnCl2, benzoyl chloride with Na2O2, or benzoic acid with Na2O2. So correct answer will be benzoyl chloride with Na2O2. This is the reaction scheme involved here. This is the benzyl chloride, and in presence of sodium peroxide it will eliminate 2 NaCl, and this peroxide linkage will be forming in between two benzoyl group. Okay. Nitrogen derivative which is used as rocket fuel is nitrate or amine oxide or urea or hydrazine. So this answer will be hydrazine. How? Hydrazine basically is having high hydrogen high volumetric density of hydrogen, and we know hydrogen can be used as a fuel, green fuel. So this hydrogen, how we will generate hydrogen, how we will how we will react in presence of oxygen, how we will combust, that is N2H4 plus oxygen, then nitrogen will be forming, and along with water. Hydrogen is used as a rocket fuel because this reacts very exothermally with oxygen to form nitrogen and water vapor. The energy involved in this process is minus 627.6 kilojoule per mole. This much energy will be evolving when hydrogen is allowed to react in presence of open air or oxygen. This combustion will be generating this much high amount of energy. That's why it can be used as a fuel. And this heat released at the increased number of moles. The delta S is also increasing here, because here two like one molecule and one molecule of these two reactants are reacting, and the product molecules are number of molecules 3. So number of molecules are increasing. So entropically also favorable, energically and enthalpically also favorable. So this provides the driving force of this reaction, and chemical reaction is given as below. Then the next question is, hydrolysis of acetonezyme results in the formation of NH3 or NH4 or acetone or both BC. Answer will be both the B and C, means hydrogen as well as acetone. So hydrogen can be produced through acid catalyzed hydrolysis of acetonezyme. Acetonezyme means acetone will be CH3 whole to CO. Azyne means in place of oxygen, nitrogen will be present, and it is actually the dimeric form. So acetonezyme will be hydrolyzed in presence of water, and then acetone will be the byproduct along with the nitrogen, along with the hydrogen. How this reaction proceeds, we can see oxygen will be having lone pair. So this is the electrophilic center. Oxygen lone pair will be attacked, then this double bond will be cleaved, and by some further steps this nitrogen will catch one proton from oxygen, and that oxygen from this H2O, and OH group will be converted to double bonded O. So finally we will get into H4, and this one will be remaining as acetone. Next question is, chloramines are used in water treatment for disinfection, control of taste and odor, or corrosion control, removing turbidity, control of bacteria. So the correct answer will be disinfection and control of taste and odor. Explanation is, chloramines are disinfectants used to treat drinking water. Chloramines are most commonly formed when ammonia is added to the chlorine to treat drinking water. This chloramine provides longer lasting disinfection also, as the water moves through pipes to consumers. This type of disinfection is known as secondary disinfection. So basically how it works, this is the chloramine structure, like NH3 is the amine. Chloramine means some NH bond will be substituted by chlorine, NCl bond. Now this group is coming from the water molecules, and this will be attacking the nitrogen center, cleaving this CNCl bond, and Cl minus will be generating. This Cl minus can be used in treating the infections. It will break the DNA present in the fungus or bacteria, and our water or whatever medium is there, so that will be disinfected. So this is the mechanism. Then moving to the next question, the chemical used as a safety explosive in mining industry is ammonium chloride, ammonium sulfate, ammonium nitrate, or ammonium phosphate. Correct answer is C, ammonium nitrate. Why? Because ammonium nitrate is the chemical compound, as we all know, with the formula NH4NO3. This is the white crystalline solid, and this is one of the major component of explosive mixture used in mining industry. How it works, this is like ANFO, ammonium nitrate, some fuel oil, I think, this full form. So this is the ammonium nitrate is the major constituent, and along with that some fuel oil is present. The percentage is ammonium nitrate will be up to around 90%, and then some 4% of diesel, and some biomass will be also up to 10%. And if we mix this all together, ammonium nitrate is safe. Like individually, it is all the things are safe, but when mixed together, then it will lead to blast. Why? Because of this chemical reaction occurring, involving this much of energy evolved, minus 967 kilocalorie per kilogram. So this much of energy will be generating, which will lead to blast when this all the three reagents will be mixed together. Here biomass is represented by CH2. Okay, so NH4NO3 plus CH2, it will give the product nitrogen, 3 molecule of nitrogen, then 7H2 along with CO2 emission. Now, nitric acid is usually produced on industrial scale by reacting a nitrogen oxide prepared by oxidizing ammonia, combustion of nitrogen in oxygen, thermal decomposition of ammonia, or catalytic conversion of nitrogen dioxide. Correct answer is oxidizing ammonia. So during industrial production of nitric acid, ammonia is oxidized in presence of some catalyst. Generally platinum rhodium catalyst we will use. The relevant equation is ammonia plus oxygen. So nitrogen oxide will be forming along with water. Then nylon 6 is basically a polymer. So this is produced by polymerization of the molecule named caprolactam. This caprolactam is generally produced from which derivative? Amino acid, alcohol, hydroxylamine, or lactone. So answer will be hydroxylamine. How this is happening? Hydroxylamine and its salts are generally used as a reducing agent in inorganic reaction and organic reaction. They can also act as antioxidant for fatty acids. The synthesis of nylon 6, the cyclohexanone is first converted to oxime by condensation with hydroxylamine. We can see the reaction. This is the synthesis of caprolactam, where cyclohexanone will be allowing to react with hydroxylamine followed by Beckmann rearrangement, to produce this caprolactam. So then treatment of this oxamine with the acid induces this Beckmann rearrangement to give caprolactam, and then caprolactam is allowed to react at high temperature, and it will undergo ring opening polymerization to yield nylon 6. This is the caprolactam. It is allowed to react at high temperature, and this ring will be opened up. This unit will be forming, and it will link by stepwise polymerization, leading to nylon 6 polymer formation, polymerization of nylon 6. So we will continue the session. So that's all for today. Thank you all. If you have any question, you are welcome. You can ask now. So as there is no question, I will close the session now. Thank you all.